Long
I'm
time.
oily. I'm extra oily. I'm an extra oily
Extra
person.
oil. Mm.
Okay, so
That's the right response,
uh-oh.
Justin.
Mm.
He's
Oh!
oh wait,
Whoa!
Aaron
Hold
Oster.
up!
No,
Yay!
he just
Whoa!
faked us
There he
out.
is.
He was like
Hi!
waiting for us to think that he wasn't going to be here.
Ha ha! We've
That
got
was
Aaron
all part
Oster
of the
here,
plan.
folks, author
Uh,
of Rampage. The first book is Rampage. The series is called Land of the
Land of
Elementals.
the element. I said elemental dungeons. I'm an idiot.
There is a V in
Oh,
there,
I think
right?
we did say elemental dungeons.
I
You're right.
did.
Land
And
of the
I
elementals.
to be
called it
fair,
Lord of
you
the
did.
Elemental. I think it was written down somewhere as Lord of the Elementals in the team drive, and then I actually said it in the book. It's a good thing that he caught it in the listen back. He was like, "Well, it sounds great. I really loved it, except the series is not called Lord of the Elementals."
I think
It's a
what
great
we're going
catch,
to
Aaron.
start doing
Great
from
catch.
now on is just like putting random titles on projects. And
Yeah.
So,
you know,
yeah.
everyone knows
So,
what it is.
what strikes me about this book, this series, because now I'm well into the second book, is just it seems to me like it's a very well thought out series. Like you thought about it as a long story before you turned it into like, you know, different parts of a series. Or that's how it plays it to me. So if you didn't do that, I'm impressed. But yeah, can you tell us a little bit about your process in creating a book and a series?
yeah. So, I mean, actually, this series, out of all the series that I have going right now, I actually did spend the most time out of any book on the first book, Rampage. Believe it or not, Rampage was the first book I ever wrote. And I originally published it as a different book. Now it completely tanked because I threw it out way before it was ready. And I think I took it down after like 2 months. And yeah, I pretty much gave up on writing after that.
Oh.
And yeah, it was rough because like I wrote it and then I'm like, okay, everybody, I wrote a book. Here you go. Like nobody was interested.
Oh.
So after I put out a few other books the next year, I came back to the book and I completely redid it. I actually had an editor look through it this time. A
Hey.
lot of parts of the story didn't work, and I added some stuff. I took some stuff away, and in the end, it turned out much better.
Yeah, nice. Well, it turned out great. I've really enjoyed the series so far. I really like the descriptions you use for magic. And we had a really good time. Like
Mm.
I had a good time talking it over with our sound guy Ahmed, and like what what the magic, what the descriptive words would sound like. And I think Ahmed did a good job. Um, So, do you have a favorite scene from from Rampage?
Gosh, favorite scene.
Mm.
It's like kind of hard
Well,
because it's like,
I know there are
yeah,
lots of scenes.
yeah, there really are.
Well, how about this? Or do you have an answer?
Gosh, I'm thinking because there are a lot of scenes that sort of, you know, to me, anyways, define the way or the direction of the way the book goes. I'd say that one of the earliest scenes, definitely that stands out and sort of sets the tone for the whole book, is the sort of red wedding thing that I
Oh
threw out there.
Yes.
yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Um, that scene definitely sets the tone. I mean, it completely changes the pacing of the entire thing. And I don't know if it was very obvious going into it. There's like a little bit of foreshadowing in the second chapter.
Mm.
But that sort of sets the tone for the whole story and how things are sort of going to play out. So I'd say, a favorite scene, if I had to pick one, it'd probably be that one, just because of the significance, the
Yeah.
way I
Mm.
see it.
It is
Hmm.
very significant and shocking, and like you get this really bad like this bad guy is initially established, and you're kind of hooked by that, because like you hate the villain so much, so you're just like, oh, like how.
If I can pipe in, I really liked the introduction to the character Silver. Silver is just this like badass salamander Morpheus dude who I had a lot of fun playing that character.
Yeah,
Um,
I like Silver.
and that relationship between Silver and everybody else, there's a lot going on there. He's kind of this mysterious character. You don't really know much about him, and even like you're not sure if he's a good guy or if he's got some other motive. Is he a good guy or a bad guy, Aaron?
When I wrote him, initially I sort of had him in mind as sort of like the Merlin character, the
Right.
one that's like he's like the all knowing and he's like he knows everything. But then as I started writing him, and he started sort of getting involved with a lot of the other characters, I realized that he wasn't just like one of those guiding characters. He was one of those manipulators, like, you know, in the background, making things happen. And yeah. So I'm not going to say if he's a good guy or a bad guy, because that would be ruining the story.
Right. That's
Thanks,
another thing I
Dustin.
love about
Thanks for
Silver.
that question.
Is that like you can never quite tell. I mean, like you like him though, but then there's always this thing in the back of your head that you're like, what's going to end? How's this going to end up? Well, I just realized we never really gave the audience just a really simple synopsis of the story. Are you interested in doing that? Would you like to do that?
Oh, I can try. Hold on a second.
It's kind of complex. I mean, there's a lot to it.
I mean, yeah.
It's very immersive, like, I'll say. I like it a lot.
Synopsis without giving anything
Spoilers.
away. I mean, let me pull up the blurb that I have on the book here.
Hey, perfect.
So let's see what we've got here. All right. So basically, I mean, it says, I mean, the blurb starts out basically about the Red Wedding. His family is killed, and then okay, I guess this doesn't really give you a very good idea. Basically, the story follows two main characters. There's Arbor and his younger sister Karia, and basically they're split up when he's supposed to get married, and they sort of both end up going on their own different adventure. And it's not like any of them actually planned on doing any of the things that they do. They just sort of stumble into them.
Right, they're thrust into a new life, and both of their new lives are very separate from one another's, which I love.
Yeah,
like I love the going back and forth between the two different not worlds, but the two different storylines.
I mean, yeah, and developing the whole magic system with this was definitely a process. The first time around it was very disjointed, but then after I wrote my first Gamelit book and my first cultivation book, I'm like, this sounds very much like a cultivation book. So I'm like, okay, let me change some things up with the magic system and the way it works, and it ended up making a lot more sense. I'd say the hardest part about it probably is trying to keep his power interesting and not just explosions.
Yeah. I thought you did a great job of describing like sort of how it felt in his body and how he imagined it. Like there was something about it that felt, I know it's like sort of like it's clearly fantasy, but it felt real somehow to me, you know? Like it felt like how it would feel, you know?
I mean, I listened to you guys do it. I mean, first of all, I don't know if I said this yet, but it was absolutely amazing. I mean, I listened to it all the way through. I'm going to be honest, I don't like listening to my own audiobooks because by the time I'm done getting through a book, I'm so sick and tired of it. I don't want to look at it again.
I know that feeling.
And listening to it, my own book and knowing everything that's going to happen, just I don't really find it that interesting, but the narration was just so incredible. I listened to it all the way through. Absolutely amazing. I mean, amazing job, all of you. Like incredible.
Well, you guys, if you haven't checked it out, you should, because book 2 is going to be coming out.
That's right.
Before too long, so you'll want to be caught up by the time. book 2 comes out.
Well, it's coming out.
Actually,
we do have a sample.
Yes, we do. I've got it queued up. You ready for
right.
that?
Book 1 is launching.
Yeah,
yes.
book 1 is launching at the end of October. Right. Sorry, we've had to hold on to it for so long.
I'm sorry too. Oh my gosh.
I feel bad because it's been done for a while.
That has been a while. Oh.
Yeah. But it's happening. rest assured, any Aaron Oster fans out there,
Good
it's
things come
coming.
to those who wait. Don't let me forget to talk to Aaron about his art. I'm gonna forget that.
Okay, we
Remind
won't.
me.
We won't
All
let you forget. Play clip.
No! Karya screamed, and despite his fears, he acted.
What the?
The man cried out as the tree next to him exploded, vines flowing outward and wrapping him up in a crushing grip. The knife dropped from his nerveless fingers as the vines flowed around him. Sylvester emerged from his hiding spot, concentrating hard as he tightened the vines even further. The tracker screamed in pain as the vines began crushing him to death. Sylvester opened his eyes at the tracker's cry of pain and hesitated. The tracker, feeling the vines loosen their grip, turned his head to look at the elf.
Never killed a man before, have you?
The man said with a sneer, as he felt the vines slacken a bit more.
Never looked a man in the eye as you watched the life bleed out of him? Watched the light go from his eyes?
The man continued, a snarl coming to his face. Sylvester took an involuntary step back as the man spoke, and the vines binding him slackened just enough for the tracker to escape. The man pounced on Sylvester as soon as he was free, his scrawny hands wrapping around his neck and driving him to the ground.
You've never taken a life, but I have. I'm sure the boss won't mind too much. After all, a dead elf is still worth plenty.
He couldn't breathe. The man on top of him was crushing the life out of him. His vision began to darken as he felt unconsciousness claiming him. Suddenly, he felt the man's grip go slack, and he took a deep, gasping breath, coughing hard as air entered his bruised throat. The man was slumped over him, a glassy expression on his face, as blood leaked from the back of his head. Karya stood over him, the man's now bloody knife clutched in her shaking hands. She dropped the knife and fell to her knees, shock clearly written across her face. Sylvester rolled the man off of him and quickly ran over to her.
Karya!
He said, shaking her shoulders.
Karya, look at me!
She looked up then, and he could see tears streaming down her face.
We have to go,
He said.
The tracker is dead. But more men will be coming soon.
She nodded, and he helped her stand on shaky legs, and together they took off at a run.
Woo!
Woohoo! Damn, that was good.
Oh, that was great. That was yeah, that was the well, nobody knows what's happening there. I'm not gonna give it all
Yeah.
away, but well, another scene, definitely a more defining moment for the other main character, Karya, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, she's badass. She's a badass. So we have art. Do we have Ahmed on standby to provide us with the
Yes.
original Aaron Oster
There it
artwork?
is.
So we didn't know
Oh.
this about him. Oh, do we not have? Is Ahmed not available?
Oh, we had artwork up, but I don't know if it was the original.
No, he sent an actual. It was art that you made, right?
Yeah,
That you yourself made.
Oh!
I sent that over to Ahmed, and he was like, "Sweet." He was like super excited about it, but maybe I'm
Where did it
supposed
go?
to show it somehow, but I don't know how to.
Oh, I believe Jeff is muted, by the way. I think that we can just say anything. So
Is that better?
Oh, damn it. I was going to give
Anyway,
myself
maybe
a
we
raise.
don't have
Muted?
it. Maybe we don't have it at hand at this moment.
Oh,
that's
well,
fine.
if we do find it in
Can
time,
we put it up
we'll play it.
somewhere?
But
Like,
yeah, we can
on
put
the-
it up on our Facebook
Put it up
group.
on the
We'll-
Facebook group.
We'll share
Yeah,
it there if
yeah.
it's all right with you, Aaron.
Oh yeah, share it around.
Sweet.
So what is this art? I'm out of the loop.
Yep, me too.
Oh, it's I actually did this promo art myself for the series. So I haven't actually really shown it anywhere except for like on my Patreon, but yeah, I figured the audiobook release is coming soon. The end of next month. Very exciting. So I figured, hey, let's throw that out there. I haven't really done any of my own art before this, so thought it'd be nice.
Are you thinking
Wow.
about are you thinking about doing your covers at any point?
I'm a bit of the way. I still got some practicing before I'm confident enough in doing my own covers.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Oh, wait. Well, oh,
There it is.
Yay!
cool.
I
Yeah,
love
right on,
the
right on.
tears.
You're a multi-talent. You're an artist
Multi-talent.
and you are a writer. And have you always been this artistic, or was this always something that you?
Oh,
Has a
yeah,
knack
yeah.
for?
I like doing art. Ever since I was a kid. I only recently started again. It was like traditional art before now, and then I just got into the digital painting. I'm probably
Right
going to
on.
spend a bit more time on this, but I got lazy.
Well, you do other things too, I was surprised that you were like, yeah, I did this. I was like, oh, cool. Yeah.
I think I've we're running out of time for this segment, but I do feel like there is. If I was a writer, I would be so excited about like all of the other like multimedia to go with that story, and like getting the audio done and hearing the sound effects and getting a soundtrack and getting the visual art and like being able to see different scenes, and I would want to do it all. I would want to, like I can definitely relate to that there.
That'd
Yeah,
definitely
well,
be awesome.
Is there
one of the
anything else that
reasons
you
this
want to?
company got started.
Yeah, that's right. Is there anything else that you want to leave us with, Aaron, in terms of what you're working on, any new releases,
Oh,
plugs?
plugs. I'd say to just check the audiobook out when it comes out. I mean, I'm
Beauty.
putting new books
Definitely worth
out
the listen.
all the time, so definitely get the book when it comes out.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Aaron.
Thanks so much
Aaron
for
Oster,
your
everybody.
time.
All right.
And thanks for your great book.
Yes.
The author. Yes.
I was trying to mime the sound effect there.
Oh, yes. Author of Land of the Elementals.
Land of the Elementals, not Elemental
Elemental
fucking
Dungeon.
Dungeon. That's Bone Dungeon. I just realized that's why that was in my head.
It happens. Do not forget to like and subscribe.
Please do not forget.
Do it now. Do it for Aaron. Do it for Aaron. If you hate all of us,
Oh,
you're
boy.
bound to like Aaron.
Oh,
Whoa!
Jesus.